Hello and welcome to Yerushalmi Peah, Daf Beis, and that was about her print. And we are continuing a very fascinating conversation here. So we know that there's a very big mitzvah of giving Peah, which is the corner of our fields. The question is how much you have to give. As we mentioned in the Mishnah, there's Elam Shir, but Chazal did give a 1/60th of the field as the requirement. So we quoted Tosefta, and as we mentioned many times, the Tosefta is really the source of many of the brises that are quoted in Yerushalmi. The more you know the Tosefta, the better. There's many Toseftas that came up just in these first two pages. And we'll get to a very famous one about Elad Dvarim She'elam Shir as well. Bezer Hashem, hopefully soon. So this Tosefta this is the brisa that's quoted. And the Gemara is actually based on the Tosefta, and that is, it says Kila Esadeu. If a farmer finished off his field, he harvested his entire field, and he forgot, neglected to bring Peah. So At Amar Chazra Peah LaAmarin. In that case, the obligation reverts to the sheaves. So the actual sheaves are Chayav and Peah. This is actually a Tosefta in Perek Aleph, Os Vav, and basically, since he didn't leave it from the actual field, there's nothing left to give. So he has to now leave the minimum measurement of 1/60th from the instead of from the standing grain, from the sheaves, which are the bundles that of the cut grain that was already tied. So now the Gemara has actually a brilliant shaila, which is very fascinating. We know that the first crop that you pull off is not obligated in pay yet because you haven't started harvesting your field. So, but now b'di eved, now that you already harvested your entire field, so can you use that for payah? So the Gemara says that probably once it became not usable, so it's no longer usable at all. But anyway, it's just a fascinating, brilliant thing. And also in the Gemara, there's a very fascinating thing, which is that the Gemara says that there's an inyan that if a person didn't follow Chazal and gave too little, that impacts Meiser, which he's chayav, because normally he'd be patur on the pay that he gave. Ayin Sham in the Gemara, but it's very, very fascinating that the who is it over here? The Maram Chaviv and many other Mefarshim here have a whole machlokas about how to actually read the Gemara, because there's an inyan that it's making it could cause a michshal to the poor person who's just trying to give just trying to use his food and eat it without problems. The last thing I want to say is that the Gemara has a very fascinating question. So remember, the first Mishnah that started off our Masechta was Elad Dvarim She'elam Shir, HaPeah v'Bikurim v'Arayon Gemilas Chasadim v'Talmud Torah, and we say this every morning in davening. And so the Gemara says, wait a minute, there are other things that don't have a shear as well. For example, the sota's earth that has to be put into the water. It doesn't say a shear. It has to be visible, but that's not a shear, right? It's just a small, tiny speck. And also, for para, why don't we talk about the paraduma's ashes? And also, why don't we say the roka of Yavama that she has to spit? And also the dam tzipor of Mitzorah. So Gemara answers, no. Our mission is listing things that they have no shear, no minimum, but Chazal are encouraging you to give more and more and more. The Torah is encouraging you to give more, and the more you give, the bigger the mitzvah. Those are items that the more you give, there is no mitzvah. You already fulfilled it. You're yotze. So you see that the entire attitude of the Mishnah, Elad Dvarim She'elam Shir, and the reason we say this in the morning, I believe, is because it's telling us, yeah, it has no minimum, but here's a place where you show love. HaPeah when you're giving tzedakah, HaBikurim when you're bringing up the first fruits and celebrate, V'Harayon and being seen by Hashem and the Beis Hamikdash, and Gemilas Chasadim. Yeah, there's no shear for a minimum, but look at it and make sure you do as much as possible. The Talmud Torah, which we know is Keneged Kulam, which is the Tosefta's words, and we'll see the Gemara Bezer Hashem later on as well, and the Keneged Lashon Hara. I'm getting excited because that's a very, very famous Chazal, and when we learn through the Yerushalmi, we get a better understanding of that. Thank you and have a great day.